Oh, what can we say? Kind of just checking in more than anything else. Um, a week of fuck it all was not necessarily good for me at all. I don't know, but maybe I needed it. It's kind of not too far from how I spent my time earlier. When I was with my wife, quite often I would have a week with nothing. No positive actions, if I was playing video games or whatever. I didn't even have that excuse though. And what little I tried to do of 1849 wasn't turning out very well. I don't know how much, I don't know anything anymore, right? But what I'm thinking in particular is I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do the game videos anymore or whatever. I don't know what else to do. It's kind of funny because when I first was in Eugene, my experience at the school was very rough to begin with. It was sort of my first time living on my own after my wife kicked me out. And not really on my own either. And that was part of it. But I felt a certain hopelessness. There was hope in coming here. And I went to bars a couple of times, danced. Part of the reason I came back here was to dance. Even the first time was to dance. Although I figured I could find places I could dance anywhere at that point. That was before it was much more difficult to find such exciting things in Phoenix. But mainly to live music, and it was very sporadic. It was, I was honestly trying to do well in school, but I'm not very good at the things I try. I had done very well when I was living in hell with my dad, but moving out on my own, not having anyone to impress, not having, anything except my own existence, I was thrown into some really troubling period. Everything before that had been kind of troubling too, but I just kind of coasted my way through. Maybe still had vague hopes of getting back together with my first wife back then, I don't know. But also had hopes of meeting someone when I went out, to dance or whatever. And those hopes persisted, but to some extent the dance itself started becoming everything. And it sort of was ruling my life, I would maybe play video games, do what I had to as a bare minimum to get through classes and to do what work I was doing for the school. And would sit out on my porch drinking. Had easier access to alcohol across the river. I think the place is gone now. Probably is where I would go now. But I haven't been able to find it where I thought it used to be. But, and I know that there are liquor stores downtown, but, and I would listen to music and just, smoke. And then I would get on the fora at night. I would steal Wi-Fi from people. Eventually the place ended up getting an internet connection in every flat, basically. And that was kind of cool. I mean, that should have been the case to begin with, but it was. I was kind of shocked that it didn't, but. I think it had cable in all of them. It just didn't have. I mean, I think it had cable paid for, but I'm not sure. Maybe not. Maybe not. But I wasn't paying for internet. There didn't seem to be a reason I could get to the university when I needed to get online. But I did start getting addicted to the fora, and this was a particular time. I don't know, 2006, 2008, somewhere in there. Where they were where a lot of sites were much more appealing in a lot of ways, and I'm sure there are probably things kicking around in corners that would be, but I had a lot of fun, and it ate up a lot of my time, and then. Really, the only thing that I was doing, the only thing I was living for, was every every Thursday night going out dancing, and then Friday when I had classes or something. Boy, was I not in good shape, because I would sometimes get pretty damn hammered. And, I remember I had some early morning stuff on Fridays, and that just did not go well. But what's funny is now the dance has restarted. 2 weeks now. The first week I came out and I was just, I don't know, both weeks actually, I think I was crying afterwards. But it's feeling like it's drifting into that. Yeah, I don't really give a shit about anything else, and I just want to go, and I want that release, and everything else in my life can just go to hell. I don't know if I can afford that. Certainly not, entirely, but it's like work doesn't really do anything, it just eats up time. It's like being on the fora, It's like something I can do that I kind of enjoy and doesn't really cost me. But going out for the walks has gotten harder. But I was low enough on food, on sort of the essentials of my life, that I had to go shopping. And it's on my 2-week schedule, but it's been so light, the amount of stuff that I've been getting in total, that, my cart's only half full. So I said, screw it. I bet you I can get away with my backpack. So I tried that. I've got this fucking huge, marine backpack that is just, I bought it so that I could haul groceries, and it doesn't hold as much as the cart, and then I found a better path for the cart. And it takes a lot more out of me, even with less stuff. I had probably bought less than I ever have in one of these shopping trips before. When I used to do the backpack, not only did I fill it all the way full, but I had stuff tied to it, so I had like my bread tied to it and everything. And then I have a place in the back where I can kind of hang toilet paper, a huge thing of toilet paper that I could hang out or kind of strap onto it. But yeah, just carrying the weight, I don't know if I've gotten that far out of shape. I'm guessing that's part of it. Was definitely an endeavor. Got nothing done, obviously, being, the way I was this week, last week, whatever. But this upcoming week, I've got things I've got to take care of. Like, I've got a dentist appointment tomorrow. I've got to get the death certificate out in the mail to her father. There's more, you know, but like I got the taxes I gotta do real soon. I know it's not April 15th this year, but and then, I don't know, maybe start actually doing things. I'm in that position, you know, I quite often think, yeah, maybe I can get things done this week, maybe I can do things. The big iffy thing, you know, the big question mark on the fuck it all, whatever, is, hey, if I could just fucking die, this wouldn't be a problem. Stop fucking worrying about these things and worry more about how you know, how things are gonna end. But I know that I can't. And I gotta start dealing with shit. I mean, you know, maybe in a few years, but I can't yet. Probably get back to Sicily, the 1849. I'm in the midst of a video right now, you know, still following my fucked up train. I know people want the game videos, but man, I just don't want anything anymore. Yeah, I bought a packet, I don't know what it is, from the bakery at the supermarket, of a cake type thing. It's something that she would have seen and would have been like, oh, let's get that. And I would have said, no, we don't really want that, and picked out something, because it's like $1 for like 3 little slices or something. And that doesn't seem like a great deal, as opposed to like $3 for a bunch of cupcakes or muffins or something. But it was just, you know, I probably never would have bought this on my own before, and would have ended up denying her it. I mean, if she really wanted it, sure, but usually when I said no with things like that, you know, she didn't pout or look like, you know, there was just kind of like this silent acceptance of the not getting something to make her happy. So now I've got it and it's okay. It's not the kind of thing I'd want, but I couldn't help but get it. I know there's more things. I ended up clicking, I watch usually SNL on video, but sometimes it brings up the old ones. I ended up clicking on one of our old jokes, which was the bare hands joke. You know, I'm like, well, I'm gonna do this with my bare hands. Yeah, things like when the claws get in the way and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of showing people I'm still here and not much better off, you know. Before the fuck it all, or yeah, right before the fuck it all video, I'd gone on a walk with someone. I think that's the last thing I did before I went out dancing, basically. So, you know, most of the week. And then yesterday I had, so that's the whole thing. Like Friday I devote to dancing, which is to say I do my work and then I take maybe a nap. I took one today, this week. And then I like left work a half hour early, and it doesn't let you record a half hour early. So I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm sure I've stayed after a half hour enough times. But I was actually planning on taking a couple hours off early, but I had to get some stuff done. And then I had nothing, and I'm like, fine, whatever. it's like there's no time for me to play a board game afterwards, even though I only kind of napped for an hour. And I had time, but that time gets eaten up by these stupid fucking Flash games that I'm playing, that I've been playing for a couple of years. I thought I had kicked the habit of them, but, new ones intruded. And then, Saturday, I'm so worn out, and it wasn't pretty weather. I might have gone shopping yesterday if it had been a little warmer. Late in the day, I kind of felt up for it, but it got cloudier and shitty. But that just reminded me of this whole, go out dancing on Thursday, and then maybe go out dancing again Friday or Saturday if there was a live band that I wanted to see. And pretty much the rest of time was like just basically this bare maintenance of like eat, sleep, shit, get food when I need it, if I'm lucky. And that's what it kind of feels like. It feels like everything else, all the other shit that I do is just this gray, oppressive fluff that is just there and kind of suffocating me. I would have so much more time, but what would I do with my time? I would get bored and end up starting something that is equally pointless. Because, it's all kind of pointless anyway, right? That's the problem. But, walked back a different way because of the backpack. I didn't have to haul the cart, so I took what used to be our route when I hauled the cart, and I had learned that it was kind of too tough. It has nice seats on the way. There's a bench on the way. That reminded me of a few years back. It's like sometimes I think that the whole reason is just kind of everything kind of calmed down enough, all the problems, all the things that were getting in the way that were making it, make life seem worse, were gone, and still life was so fucking worthless with no hope for her. That hey, there's no noise here. It's in a beautiful woodland area, one that, I don't know, maybe she kind of tried to warn me away from when we first bought it. Some of her worries were that, I wouldn't be able to keep up with it, obviously. And then later on, she suggested selling it not too long before she killed herself. I think she kind of realized that, since I kind of got this because of her, she didn't want to burden me with it forever or whatever. But that's what it is now. That's what it is. And I mean, it really isn't, that's not her. I mean, she drove the fact that I got this here, but this is the place I need to be. This is where I plan to die. And it's just a question of how long, I can't manage to just spontaneously expire through force of will. I don't think I'm going to starve myself. There have been times, like I said before, if she had left the poison, I would have done it. I think, I don't know, at the very least I considered there's some painkillers, probably not enough, so I'm like, nah. But, it's like everything that requires sort of an act of will to take on that step that's of any significance, So there's a gun show that's in town this weekend. I'm like, No. Just no. I could not have gone through that effort of trying to procure materials, you know. And that's what kind of leaves me wondering, because it's like there's just no way out for me. I'm stuck with this shit. Wish it were otherwise. Anyway, up it goes.